if this sometimes I go, oh, dividend. Here's the reality. That some of you, so that's just, okay. I'll say that was something. But to me, that's fine. So here's the people may have an audience. People may be getting to watch. You never comment. You know what's going on. There's far people watching. These people are taking. So if you're not out there, like there's a certain point, we're not basically throwing up unaccountable. What people was a case for crazy and for business, younger. You think your question, but the point is that like people will also most of it based on total misconceptions. People enough for us to finally give up. Great, you're so right about integration. And yeah, maybe you're in a whatever. But nevertheless, the public there's time. Yeah, there'll be time. And you got to go with that. That's really someone. But the reality is, you know, one of education, but at the end of the day, like other people review. The origin story is interesting. So I was down at the FDA the last several years ago. I was a young advisor. President was such a people started like actually I wish I could hold it. You don't please do it. Do it. He said something. I can't fix it. But it's not. I was like, this is. I sit down like so I go up and talk. Listen to me. The guy. So I came home and I started to happen. I come home from the nurse. Depressed about what was coming back. You know, I was having fun with hundreds of people. I couldn't find present people. So this was a deep direction. I think a lot. But there's going to be no. We said, okay, great. We're going to make. I'm going to prevent it blocked by the. We came up with an entry chart. This is the world. Future response. You know, basically, that's interest decline percent. We basically know the way we. I basically said, look, man, actually, as far as I'm concerned, that's me saying, I don't believe we're talking. The rest of it, believe, okay, incredible engagement. That's fine. And after that, basically, leaving only possible because you get involved with that. Basically, exposed, basically, to build a better industry. We've had credit is importantly create a community. Create a community. No longer have been so long. The older one, but we're on an island. Here's that try. You only get a win. Why like it's gonna win? It is a good. Yeah. We have put that together. Despite the fact that we've been basically not like he's humorous, got the best of him, and isn't it? Is he getting it? Sorry. And I was I was sweaty and I was like, I was feeling it. So why? It depends on what we're talking about. Three, I mean, personally, it matters more than going. In terms of my, which is what I discovered years ago about myself, everybody else. I get to for so it is a truly profound that can give that. I just want everything was written this week. Some people deny my existence.
Ready? Well, because making a lot is kind of so actually Like
I think
Yeah, hello. I was gone. I was walking my dog.
There's probably already someone at this relic site. I hate relic sites, man.
I camped this system yesterday for 10 hours.
Yeah, the guy that was talking shit.
Yeah. A decent chunk of it was mostly AFK because I was watching Erebus play Warno, Cold War era RTS from the war game devs, Eugene Systems, and
There's relic sites in O4T. Holy shit.
yeah, so a lot of it was sort of AFK, but near the end, I had like a 90-minute tug of war over a single MTU. Like multiple people showed up on grid repeatedly. They tried to like obviously warp scramble me and stuff. Right? I was just teasing them around with the malediction. Um, they frequently came back with different loadouts. They like changed their. In the end, they showed up with like a long range Macarial, and then I actually had to warp off because that thing was gonna snipe me. Uh, but of course, I just came right back at a slightly longer range. And yeah, so and I would repeatedly up. So what I do, I'll show. Have you seen me kill an MTU? Have you seen the method I use?
No, I'm doing something right now, though. If you were gonna, like, literally show me.
Yeah, the method I use is I position my strategic cruiser within weapon range on one side, and then I fly directly towards and past. I approach the MTU, and then I just fly past it. I don't like stop at the MTU. And I only decloak my strat cruiser once the malediction is 150 kilometers off into the distance, and I just approach the malediction, right? So like I'm permanently aligned towards my own malediction, right? I can literally like it's literally just 1 second and I'm out. Um, there's the same lag for me to enter warp as there is for somebody else to start targeting me, right? Not even finish targeting, but just start targeting, right? So even a decloaking stealth bomber, like there's no chance, absolutely no way. Because I'm an insta warper, like I'm the most instant of insta warpers because I'm not even I'm a 1 second aligner, right? Because the minimum is 1 second, right? Yeah, so I'm blasting the MTU with damage, and I'm literally 1 second align, and I'm interdiction nullified. There's absolutely no way to. The only way to even affect me would be to decloak and smart bomb, right? That's like literally the only way to have any effect on my ship, right? Of course, it's not going to be a decisive effect because I'm not going to die to a smart bomb, but yeah.
Fucking blow up the canister. And drop my swings. So bitch. get a break, dude. I got one. It had some drugs in it and BPC for the event rewards, which I am going for. I got that one too. Nice. And let me guess, all the other ones are warped too. I'm just trying to get the event points. I wish you could just mine the stuff, but you have to do it in like a cycle, right? So you have to like mine, um, then you have to make like one of the things for the event, then sell it, which you can sell to yourself, and then it repeats. You know what I mean? So you have to have that to be able to loot to get whatever. It's like, dude, just let me mine like fucking a billion fucking Terranite, and then give me my fucking crate, and then I'll get shit, and I'll be happy. No drifter plug suit for you. Okay, well at least you know. But yeah, from what you said, it sounds like you're probably already the talk of the town in that area.
Yeah, I got certainly got a reaction.
Is there like something that I'm missing when it comes to hacking? Like,
Um,
I'm saying like, you know, is there like a way to like kind of predict where the node is going to be,
yeah,
or
yeah. There's some rules.
I must be unaware of them
There's
because
one called the
I
rule of eight. That the thing is always at least eight hops away from the start.
only 8? How's that possible? Oh, then I have been fucking up really bad. Whenever I don't find it in like one of the corners, I go to the like other corners.
I'm just saying, it's at least the first 7 jumps from the origin point. That's never the objective, unless there is no place that's 8 jumps off from the origin point on the whole map. It can, of course, be positive. You know, it can be like a pickup or something, right?
Oh yeah. Which sometimes are not very useful.
I don't know if there's any rule.
You know how long it took me to understand that one of them is a damage over time, and I was like, dude, what is this good for? I would click and then just like die, and I was
me
like,
too.
like, what is this good for? This is the shittiest pickup ever. Well,
I mean,
minimum of a
on
demonstration.
average, encountering anything that's not the final objective is gonna hurt you, right? I mean, it's not like you get more benefit from encountering stuff.
No, you're slowly being a trite. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're working with limited.
You're getting less help than you're getting hurt, right? Like you're less likely to get a net benefit than to.
Unless you get like a bunch of repairs, which I mean, how much does repair even do?
You're being an oxymoron here because you said something that cannot be true. I said you're less likely, and then you said unless you get a bunch of repairs. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess you should go along the outer edge if you can, because then you're touching less stuff, right? Because you have one. You don't have a neighbor on one side, right? Of course, if the outer edge path is significantly more, long-winded, then you don't, obviously.
God damn it, I blew it up.
Actually, yeah. I think in most cases you can go on the outer edge. I'm having a hard time even imagining what it would look like.
Even my oxymoron was incorrect because the repair is only 5 per thing. That's not gonna be enough to
Depends on how strong your virus is, how strong your virus damage is.
Yeah, but that only gets so high, right?
There's a way to specialize where your virus loses health but gains damage and gets really strong, but your health is so low that you kind of need to find one repair. But if you do, you're good. Like the entire run is saved.
How?
There's some kind of implant or whatever that, or ship
okay.
or whatever. There's like a way you can spec yourself where.
Yeah, I've seen people. I guess I've seen that because I've seen people like tear through, and I'm just like, dude, what is going on? You know what I mean? I felt
Yeah,
that.
there's a setup. There's a glass cannon setup, and on that setup, the repair makes a huge percentile difference, right, to your EHP, right? So, because you're taking a flat reduction to your initial HP, so getting that flat 15 or whatever from that repair pickup saves the entire run. Like every time you get it, you can just breeze through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what some of those. Also, you don't take damage if you kill the virus, so
Yeah, Yeah. So damage spec is best, right?
So yeah, I see like a lot
Um,
of the streamer guys that do it. They just click once and it's gone, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how much do you do? Isn't it like set at like 30 or 40?
I never explored with good skills or good implants, so I would never be able to I was never able to one shot the worst threats, right? Like I was always in two shot on everything, right? But I imagine it gets hugely easier once you can one shot the easiest threat nodes. I needed to use like some kind of consumable, like flat the half HP one would put it into one shot range. The dot would probably just fucking kill it, or I mean the dot should be saved for like the mid level threats because that takes them down to one shot range or whatever, right?
Your damage gets halved by the block nodes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you encounter those, you need to just immediately kill them.
Yeah,
The block node, um,
the 80-10 one that
yeah, the regen node is the most urgent to kill, obviously, but
yeah.
the block node also is realistically something you just need to immediately kill.
Yeah, because it makes it yeah, it works that way for every virus in the system. Oh, I think I got some intact armor plates from that. Okay, 62 million. That was all right.
Yeah, I really like the damage over time. Like if I could choose the rewards, I would probably just pick damage over time. Unless I had the glass cannon spec, then I would just pick repair. And it would be the easiest thing in the world.
The armor one is kind of nice.
Not when
If
you
delay
really
on when you use it.
No, not when you really need it, because like the threats are the damage. It's the nerf nodes and the heal over time nodes that are the run killers. Um it's when you're forced into slamming your head quickly against the wall that you'll end up doing it, you know.
I do agree that the dot one actually after you figure out how it fucking works, it's actually good.
Yeah, you just need to leave some you need to leave some unexplored squares. Like don't just click on tiles willy nilly. Try to leave because you need free tiles to let the dot work for 3 turns, right?
Yeah, but that's 60 damage for free, man.
Yeah, the dot is my
For
favorite.
free.
With a sort of with a sort of like balanced spec, which is what I had because it's all I had, right? Where you're grabbing as much virus damage as you can, and you're not taking the virus health reducer implant for the glass cannon spec, right? You're valuing both damage and health, but you prefer damage, of course, right? Um, I prefer the dot. The dot is the best random reward in my opinion because it just does the most damage, so it puts a lot of things into one shot range, right? Um, but if I had the glass cannon set up, repair would be what I would prefer.
So I was gonna say, you have like footage of like you know, you didn't die. You can use that and show it to people and be like, this is what I will pay you for. Like this is a good example of like if you want to get that full rate, you doing stuff like this, big yes.
Yeah, sure.
These motherfuckers, dude. I mean that's. I don't know if you were actually like kind of having a fun time because it sounds like one. If they were actually like one sec, I gotta like, I gotta go refit. We're gonna get this motherfucker, and they didn't get you. That's solid feeling.
Yeah, they kept going through like the stages of grief or whatever.
Yeah.
At first they were just like, "Oh, you should leave the system because I'm gonna chase you. I could be anywhere." It's like, dude, dude, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me, okay? You don't get it, okay?
Instead of the sig, you should have just been like, but some call it acceptance. That's what you should have. Acceptance. You finally get it.
Yeah. This guy was like, I can't wait to fling missiles. This was the guy that was chasing me down like 10 fucking hours later for 90 minutes.
That's the best payoff when someone's like, I'm going, like they're really confident about it, and then you're just like, are you sure? You're like John Cena prying through their ship. Are you sure about that?
This was during the 90 minutes. This was the guy that tried to get me first. It's weird. He was using like a Logi ship, but it was some ultra bling shit because he was really fucking fast and his drones were really fucking fast and I don't
Yeah,
know.
for home defense, if they're operating in that area, people will usually like have like a bling fit.
Yeah, here you see his this guy.
Where?
I mean, it's on my Twitch stream, but it's in the small like I posted a second screenshot orbiting this thing for 30 minutes now, and below that there's the we start with the insults to my the alliance that I'm in.
It's even funnier though because you're Singrana, dude. Like you're probably not talking shit. You're just literally like just affirming your message. But I wouldn't be able to keep myself from talking shit. I would. But I think your approach is better for the SIG though, because if you verbally piss them off more, they're less likely to pay you.
Yes.
You apply that spite factor, and then it's like, well, we were willing to pay you, but now we realize that you're kind of an asshole. In addition to someone who's stopping us from being able to make money, and we don't like that.
Yeah. So here this guy just goes like, Sigma must have changed since I was there. Never had bitches in it. And then after 90 minutes,
you should have said with a tear, "What a sweet thing to say."
eventually my strat cruiser got decloaked with a mobile decloaker. So they put out the mobile decloaker to try to catch my strat cruiser AFK.
It sounds like these guys were fucking employing special tactics. They were like, "Dude, we got to kill this guy."
Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of wasted time. That's like, man.
Yeah. In the end, they left the MTU alone, and then I did go and kill it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I would change the message and I would be like, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
I'm going with the whole, unspent ordnance. It's just kind of randomly running into ships and MTUs, and we can provide insurance for anything that happens while we're on grid to see it, basically, right? Here's the pitch in the some say they phrases. Yeah, as soon as somebody pays, I'm gonna need to make a list of everybody who's paid and who has time. Has time credit on their name, right? And also I also need a list of everybody who is in the SIG. So basically, everybody who claims any kind of payout from the SIG, they go on the list of people who are in the SIG. Okay, and those guys, if you kill somebody that had insurance, that had paid for protection, right? The way it works is if the guy who paid complains to Syngronalt with like an email, right?
You got to pay him 10 times.
then yeah.
The person who killed him, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who shouldn't have killed needs to pay 10 times the value. So, um, yeah. So just be aware of that. So if you're in the sig, you need to basically pay attention to who's on the don't kill list. So before you when you find somebody like
Things like
opening fire is fine, but just don't kill them. Like you can start tackling them and start the process of killing them, but once you're done activating all your modules, just quickly click on their name and just make sure it's not on the list. I'll make sure the list is like alphabetical and everything, so you can very easily see if your dude that you're looking at right now is there or not.
I was gonna say, you're like, I've seen South Park. I enjoy the "it's coming right for me," but that's not gonna fly this time around.
It's not specified here anywhere, but like I suppose I should change the message. Like it's like if you're in an Imperium fleet and they're in Pandemic Horde and you just randomly shoot them in their Ferox Navy issue in a 100-man fight, like it doesn't apply to that kind of stuff. It's only when they're like you know, privately enjoying nullsec, right? It's not for like it doesn't cover like large fleet fights that you do for some alliance or whatever. So they don't get to like complain that you were one of 100 Ferox Navy issues.
Fleets are fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be like majority sig or whatever. Like at least half the people there need to be in on the sig at least. Okay, it can't be like 100-man kill mail.
It's like that, dude. Hey, we insure you, buddy. We care about your health, but that wasn't us. You just got fucked.
Now, if I had more people, right? This is just the foundation, right? Like this kind of protection racket. This is the foundation, right? And then so how do I put this, right? Like I'm in my weakest possible state right now. Like I'll be honest, like when they're ratting an Ishtars, I can't really kill them. Like with my
normal Goku.
Yeah, this is my normal state. And this can go further beyond. But I can kill their MTUs and I can probably kill Vexors and stuff like, but like an Ishtar, that thing's gonna survive long enough for help to arrive. So to kill those things, I need more I need like more DPS. I need to either hold them for longer, which if help's coming is unrealistic. So I just need more DPS really, right? I need another Tengu in the system. I need another Tengu in the system. But if I have like more stuff like jackdaws or something or whatever, right? Then what's gonna happen is they're gonna try to, like, as I have greater investment of assets in the system to try to kill more expensive things, right? They're gonna try to drop on that. Like they're gonna try to ambush that stuff, right? right now I'm going with the strategy of being as hard to catch as possible. I'm going for like a limited enemy interaction strategy, right? Where I'm using interdiction nullifiers and covert cloaks, and I'm using all the tricks to be just impossible to. I'm just being really slippery, right? If I had the strength where I didn't need to be slippery, I would choose to not be slippery and I would just go for a different strategy, right? And that would lead to fights sometimes, right? And that would lead to a situation where they would try to ambush our fights by having more stuff ready. And then we would want to ambush that again. And we would have this sort of rock, paper, scissors game of who is really baiting who, right? It's like a fighting game, is what I'm saying. But
Like Schrodinger's hand.
yeah. But
That's my wiener, but is that who's?
yeah, so yeah, if I had more strength, then I wouldn't be doing the slippery stuff. We would be doing stuff that involved more fights. So there is again like there is like a kind of like critical mass thing where like right now what I'm doing is like the most toxic playstyle ever, and obviously it's kind of hard to get recruits excited to do this, right? Like to do this fucking playstyle, right? But the more people we get that are actually doing it, the less we need to do it. Like the lower percentage of our time needs to be spent doing this collectively, right? So, um, if I can just get like 10 people, then we can do all kinds of fun stuff while still going as positive. But right now I can't because it's literally just me. But
Yeah, I'll be right back 1 second though. Let me get some heat.
I'm gonna try log off here. Let's see if it works. Oh fuck, we're in a fleet. And we're being locked. And those are the same timers, right? I mean, we wouldn't be able to log off. Um, oh, whatever. Some random ass planet. I want to go hit up the. Oh, I have the aggression thing. I'm gonna go hit up my hypernetter and see how much money we made. I don't know if it's something expired or if I completed the offer. Hmm. My cruiser was able to log off after decloaking. Oh, they expired. Oh, this one has an estimated price. Never mind.
Too high, guys.
Too high.
Guys, it's too high.
It's pay review next week.
If you want, we could watch some StarCraft.
But the and if you wanna, if you,
Now it should be go mine another 7,000 Tyrannite. Oh no, it isn't. Now I have to manufacture 2. I'm gonna need a lot more of these blueprints if I'm gonna get this stupid crate. I want to get the stupid crate because, you know, it's like, dude, it might have a rare drifter plug suit. I want to not get that and then just be like, well, you know, 1750 points. Lovely. What is this even for? I don't know. They did. Oops.
again, if you're having to import rice, it
That's one of those solo sites for this. It was. Definitely don't get in there with the speed tank. Way too fucked up, way too fast. And also your drones get obliterated. The question must be brought up in.
A big doubt. Yeah, big doubt, but okay.
You don't think that's a? You don't think Corpus is a big question?
I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is and why his corpse is still being, you know, kept around.
It's Latin. They'll learn about it all when Norway is part of America. Sorry. Article 1, Section 9. don't see much about it's basically like the right to. I mean, effectively, it's like the right to challenge your attention, or like a pre-crowd attention. Corpus looking judge. And then with probable cause. Trump wants to suspend habeas corpus, which a lot of people are saying that, but all it says is privilege of the writ, habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when rebellion or public safety measures. All it says. Pretty open-ended.
Well, there's more than two things I don't know about in that sentence, so I can't continue talking about it. Like it's, I, you can only learn about one unknown at a time by inferring from the other things.
All I can say is from my perspective, it is arguable why you have lawyers as a lawyer, and I'm like, well, yeah, in court he argues against another lawyer. That's an incredibly small, relatively vague line. Potential suspension of that mechanism. A lot of the people that are like, nope, it's possible. I'm like, as for it actually happening, it would be fucktarded. That means every citizen of the EU also temporarily right to. And why the fuck am I being put into detention facility?
Yeah, I suppose I agree. I agree that that's good to have.
Like,
Well, it's one more thing that somebody who wants to screw you over needs to like know to disconnect basically before they screw you over.
yeah, if there's not habeas out for someone and you arrest them, judge is going, ooh boy, you're gonna have some problems. Officer of the law. I mean, I think it's dumb, but also, I don't read headlines. Trump proposes to dumb shit. You guys are acting shocked, but yeah, you're shocked. Don't understand.
Yeah, those people need to learn to not waste their time paying attention to that stuff. But the trap they're gonna probably go into when they learn that lesson eventually, right? Is that they'll become disinterested in politics. That's what happens in Russia. There's just a million announcements like, okay, this is happening, or this is happening, or this is good, this is bad, and people just don't pay attention because they've learned
Also,
that, like,
another aspect of that is short attention span. So it's like if something like actually poignant happens, it's actually like really not like the
yeah, it gets drowned out or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something that I'm like, dude, generous interpretation. There's I'd be like, dude, you know what you should say, I as if to say, giving myself Donald J. Federal Presidential Pardon, JD Vance. Oh, you look like the son from Teletubbies. You're the big guy now. Going to Abu Dhabi. That'd be the play I would say.
Yeah, it's I think it's, I mean, I want, I'm not gonna have any children or whatever, but I like the idea of like people out there in the world having um like the world we live in right now. The way it works is that the wisdom you inherit is what you have to basically negotiate the world, right? And I think that's very sad because those who don't have the right information, or those who just don't have the right sort of starting point are fucked, right? Because the way it works now is that it's a skill issue, right? Like, let's say America goes to shit, right? That's going to be bad for those who stay, right? Those people fail the test of like realizing like, okay, this is bad, and then we went down a slippery slope, and then it got really bad. Like everybody who knows this, they're not affected that much because they just got to pay the price of emigrating, right? Like they got to uproot their life and stuff, but like there's sort of a limit to like how big that cost is, right? But see, and this has always been happening around the world. Is that like those who know, they just emigrate. They just literally just leave, right? And that makes it even. That actually makes it even worse because if they were trapped, I'm basically saying immigration is bad. I'm joking. Like if they were forced to endure the horrible consequences of a slippery slope, they would put their smartness into arresting the decline before it got too bad, basically, right? Or at least they would try in desperation, right? But because they have the option of leaving, and they always have the option of leaving, always will, right? The way it works is that those who have parents that are smart enough to be like, okay, I don't want my children to grow up here, they just leave the failing state, and then the people who are just born into a failed state they just have shitty lives. Like, that's unfortunate how it is. I think that's really sad. So often I'm thinking about ways to somehow do things differently to fix this problem. I haven't come up with an answer yet. Seems to be a very hard problem. I heard, as a follow up to the guy getting deported or whatever, related to what I said, right? I heard there was this history. I don't know if it was like related or whatever, but like I learned about it after learning about the guy getting deported, right? There was this guy who was like a history academic, and he literally just moved his family to Canada because he was just like, no, we're not taking this chance. I mean, I didn't say that, but well, you're gonna hear it from me. If things that look like, I respond to environmental stimuli, you know.
Yeah, but
If data comes in that suggests that's happening and that seems like a novel thing to talk about, I'll talk about it. If I think it's a newsworthy event that like things go a little bit more shit, I'll talk about it.
Yeah, but my point is, I'm saying I'm smarter than that guy. I'm saying this guy sell early. He would. I wouldn't. Really shit.
You don't have a problem. This doesn't affect you. You're rich enough that you can leave after things go to shit.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I don't think there's a reason for you.
currently, but you know, talked about it before.
During the decline phase, you can bet on those who are in with the government. Like you can buy like meta stock when Zuckerberg goes to Mar-a-Lago or some shit, right? Like if you have money, and there is a slide towards some kind of decline, that's not a reason necessarily to leave as long as you're sort of high enough up on the feudal pyramid. It can be good for you personally, actually. You just gotta basically, you know, extract. You know, you work for the process and you extract wealth, and then you don't reinvest it into the regime, basically, because you know, long term it's fucked. But like, it's like, you know, it's what they do in China, right? You know what I mean? Like you work for the government, you make a fuck ton of money, and then you invest it in Switzerland. You know what I mean? Like you don't invest it inside China. I mean, then you're just a leak, right? You can be cut in the future, right? If you ever make a politically connected enemy. I mean, already did it with Tesla, right?
To be argued.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a market thing. I mean, you should play the market for sure. But
That's pretty minimalistic.
yeah. But my argument still. No. I'm still right, because what I meant was just that like you're not gonna become radically poorer. Like your current consumption level is not threatened. Even if things go worse, you can just start spending more of your you know, portfolio to correct it. It's like you can just turn on the hot water a little bit in the shower to balance out the declining temperature in the boiler.
Now you're talking. All you make it my teachable way. I want him to be wrong. I would like him to be. I'm not going to rub in his face. Point is, just like that election guy did predict wrong. Or probably, like, and I'll keep it dumb dumb. I like that. I like that kind of. I call it the Bill Cosby. All that good you did, gone, gone. One mistake. Oh, Bill. Get the point. I don't know why. Eddie, sure.
I mean, he's still the best predictor that I know about for that topic, right?
Yeah, but there is something.
I mean, there's not even. I mean, yes, he's wrong once, but like he needs to be wrong twice in a row before you could start making even a momentum argument, because you only have one data point. You can't make a momentum argument from one data point in the other direction. You need at least two.
Yeah, but there is something to be said for the like he's not prone, but on tilted from
Yeah.
perfect from going from perfect to perfect. Could argue. That's a big thing. I mean, I can honestly say, like, being completely honest, I want to let the other ones. This guy could say, I predict big thing.
Actually, I mean, I feel like that guy. Wonder how rich he is. I mean, if he'd bet like half his money each time, I mean.
Well, if the same thing about myself, I'm like, I never feel that maybe that's a bad mentality. Either way.
Well, Eva's taught me one thing, and that's that from time to time, I will think something is a slam dunk, and it just isn't. So I need to never ever bet. I need to never ever take a large chunk of my total portfolio on anything ever.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
There needs to be like you need like a maximum. Like it doesn't need to be a part of your general like even if I mean you should factor it into your like decision function, but it's okay to just have like a specific limit. Like okay, the cap is 10% or something like.
Just saying this more to lend credence to maybe that guy's not. You're saying this. I want to know. I'm curious now. What happened? Like you knew for this period of time you could accurately predict proven record.
Yeah, I mean he would have to just not know that he can bet on the election to not be rich by now, right?
No way that's
and that's unlikely. I had a similar one. You know the whole thing with the AI shit. You know the image generation language model shit. I saw that in 2019 before it was cool, but I didn't know how to like. I didn't know like what stocks to buy or anything, right? But had I had the knowledge that like okay, well this means that it's going to be really good for Nvidia, I would have been rich by now.
Grana, I'm so ahead. I did without even doing it. That's you gotta understand. I did without doing it, literally.
Yeah, I mean you were being a momentum investor of the.
I wasn't being any investor. I didn't do it.
Oh yeah, right. Fuck, fuck.
That's why it's funny because like I'm so ahead that I'm ahead of myself. I didn't even do it. And
I remember the moment I became convinced of like the generative AI stuff. There was this text prompt that said, "Make a harp. A harp. What was it? A harp made of snail." And you know, it basically looks what you'd expect, just worse than if you put it in now, it'll be all smooth and stuff. But it looked like decent. It's like, well, yeah, those harp strings really are like made of fucking snail. Yeah, well, my prediction was that this is going to be huge. Like this is like, oh yeah, this is going to be. If you can do this on a picture, right? Then.
What you can do with porn. That's
No, fuck off.
No, I'm just, dude. I mean, I was just like, dude. And I guarantee you, it's I don't know. That's why I was like so on the people that are like guys back then when I was like it I think that I'll be able to produce that will or like certain be able to just take the place of yours for like things like your you know you just do that and that they were like there's no way that's why I'm so vindictive toward that they were like no all it's going to the laborers now you know they're criticizing it but I true faster than you think. But that's like that was like a general feeling though. I didn't feel as certain like like a argue. But I feel like living in the U.S. before that election, uh, on stuff that I was. The thing you have a lot of like logical things that you say that make a lot of sense, but you know, and they're about certain people and certain events that you know. There's no way that many people believe that this could be that way. That is incorrect. I think you would actually be shocked about how many people still think 2020 was fraudulent. I think you would be shocked about how many people think January 6th was, you know, cool shit, dog. Not cool shit, dog. Trying to think of a literal term because, you know, I could jokingly say it was cool shit because technically someone did take a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Is that cool? Absolutely. Now, is it cool?
Yeah, I
to
mean
kind
that
of, you know,
I agree with that part. I agree with. I mean,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't hate
Is it
Pelosi.
cool?
I'm just saying it's like a Chad-based move. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like it's
it could have been any you know like name you know it's the
yeah it's the
it's the I'm not going to take a podium. I'm just going to take a shit on the test.
it's a primal urge to throw eggs at like the societal elite. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah.
Fucking water. I didn't even notice that when I was killing it. I was yeah. Thank God this isn't. Oh man, it's a lot of water. Shit. It's just water, Sungron. It's just water, dude. And ice, a little bit of ice once a week. Ice. It's replaceable. And a clonazepam pill that melted. Oof. That's why, you know, that's why, that's a good example of,
Oh yeah, another prediction I have that I don't know how to make money on is like, I do think that like the American trade deficit is eventually going to disappear, probably, and when that happens, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be bad for the American stock market at least, right? The valuations. But I don't know how to like, how do I mean, obviously you can buy puts, but like then you need to get the timing correct, right? Because there's no like.
That's the hard part.
And I have no prediction about the timing, honestly, but I just know it's like inevitable, right? That like long term, you know, 20-year horizon kind of thing. Then it's like, yeah, it basically has to happen because, fuck, what would it be? Oh yeah. Here's okay. I don't know the timing, but here's a prediction. It would weaken the dollar, right? Because if it's through a debt crisis, they always print money. Like every fucking government throughout history prints money when they run out of money, right? So that would weaken the dollar. If it's through yeah,
but you got to explain like, you know, you got to explain everything, dude.
Yeah, the problem is the timing. It's like, but at least that's like the instrument that's gonna be nudged, right?
But if I want a Singrana explanation, I need to know what is
the American trade deficit. I need to know what it like.
That's easy.
What's what?
I mean, it's just all the it's just all the imports minus all the exports or whatever, and it's yeah. If you import more than you export in terms of you know, stuff being traded, right? Then the rest has to be some kind of debt owed by something in America. Something in America.
Why?
So,
Why?
I mean, everything is always one for one, right? Like, so if you when you're importing something, you're
Could you give me an example of like why that applies? That things have to be one for one. Seriously.
How do I even begin? Honestly, I don't even know where to go here. I don't know how to like prove this.
Well, the way I understand things is nebulous even to me. So
I mean, for the trade to complete, there needs to be both a buyer and a seller, right? So, you know, people who produce things are willing to produce things in exchange for something, right? That's the price, like the ratio of
that
exchange.
something varies.
The ratio of exchange is the price, right? And the price is determined by the aggregate supply of demand for the thing and supply for the thing, right? And if the price is anything other than the fair price, there's an arbitrage opportunity if you're clever and you can analyze the economy and figure out what the real price
You think you could do that in
should
China?
be. Yeah, of course you can. You can do it on the American side too. Even if China is a literal command economy where everybody's like a worker drone in an insect hive or some shit, and nobody even thinks about personal enrichment, but they're just doing what they're being told. In America, that's not the case. So in America, you have arbitrageurs, right? So like, yeah. I'm not saying markets are perfect, but I'm saying to the extent that they're not perfect, there's a profit opportunity for clever people to make them more perfect, right? So they're exactly as imperfect as the supply of people willing to work for reward to make them better, basically, right? Or rather, they oscillate around that equilibrium number, right? So sometimes it's a good year, sometimes it's a bad year to be a price discovery person, right? Either way, so the prices are pretty fair, okay? And there's no way to tell if they're unfair in which direction at any given time. Well, actually, if you can tell which direction it's unfair in, then you are one of those people who are smart enough to make lots of money right now by arbitraging and shit, and then you should quickly get rich. You should drop what you're doing and switch to that job because that's a better use of your time for sure. In that case. But yeah. So yeah, the prices are pretty fair. So like every when China sells more to America than they import, how is America affording this? Well, they're selling something, right? And they're not selling like things or actions in the present. So they're selling promises about the future. That's what like when you issue shares and national debt and all that stuff is, right?
Pause 1 second because we're still coming out of 1-to-1. I need to get some water because I spilt my water. So don't lose track because I'll be right back.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I just had a realization, which is that even though I have the prediction, it's not necessarily any particular reason to think I can make money on it, because I'm pretty sure I know more than like the casual person. You know what I mean? Like the everyman on the street. But I need to know more.
I would make that bet.
But I need to know more than the people who are trading that thing. Like those are the ones I'm on the other side of the trade. It's not the everyman on the street, right? I need to know more than the average dollar, right?
Yeah.
The mind behind the average dollar, right? So it's very possible that all this stuff I say are like, well, yeah, this is basically inevitable or whatever, right? Like that might already be like priced into those options and all that stuff. So I'm not the only one who knows that, like, yeah, this stuff can't go on forever, basically.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You have a much more concrete understanding of the economy than I do. You know, cut to for example.
Now this is okay, fine. I agree with what you're saying, but this is financial. This is not the economy.
Okay, well, whatever it specifically pertains to, well, actually, no. I would wager you have a better understanding of both the economy and finance than I do. Thus, like Seth would say, my coding experience is limited. And then you see the command prompt open many, many times.
Oh, dude, that reminds me. Those that like coding, you know, the ChatGPT coding stuff. That stuff's been getting pretty good lately, actually.
Yeah, it's been putting out stuff that's actually not trash. I know.
Yeah, and I've said like I wish I could code.
That's definitively pretty good.
You know that stuff I've been saying, like I wish I could code and stuff, right? I should actually give that a try with the ChatGPT stuff, because it might be able to, like, I'm not saying I can like be a reliable coder, but it's like maybe like half of the things I want to do, it'll just do it for me, and it'll be done.
Assuming any significant portion of it is usable, it is a benefit. I see what you're saying. It's a
and I could hire like an actual coder to like fix the parts that suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that for a long time. About the effects of like a large language model actually putting out code that is not complete garbage. I wouldn't say it's like scary, but it is that's like big,
I'm just talking about using it personally. I'm not talking about the implications for jobs or in society or anything.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm just saying, like, hey, this could be Pog, actually. This could be
What you should do is you should get your boy Grok. Please kill me now.
I don't believe the hype about Grok. Okay, there's one thing I believe. There's one thing I believe, and that's that it might be less censored. Okay, but other than that, it's probably pretty shit.
I guarantee you, it probably sucks Elon Musk's dick all day.
Oh yeah. Multiplier on Elon Musk favorability aspects X1000 or whatever, like that.
You put one of the most innovative electronic vehicles ever devised by Lord Imperator Rex.
Oh yeah. That's what you remember. When every time I say like Elon Musk's relatively slender build, that was like a Grok output. That was like somebody talking about Elon Musk being fat.
Ones too. Yeah.
How do you like spin it that Elon Musk?
You saw the photos of him at the beach.
Yeah, he looks so weird.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just that he's fat in a way I haven't seen before.
Misshapen.
You know what I mean?
Some of it doesn't look like fat. Some of it looks like it's just a protrusion. It's like
it's like higher up. It's like in his chest or something.
Yeah,
like it's like it's not in the belly. It doesn't like sag. It's like pushed up.
yeah, and then it sags. It's like, dude, you are misshapen. You are an amalgam. Sir, we need to study you. What do you think of people damaging Tesla vehicles? I think that's kind of gay.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
I understand
it's
not liking
yeah.
Elon Musk, but that's damaging someone's private property.
Yeah. That's not cool.
See, that's why I say like people are like radicalized and they're like, well, other people led to this, and I'm like, you think that you're not having a negative effect on the potential outcome of like whatever this is? As sure as Singrana will say there is no hell, you will be held accountable. That's what I say. This is where you come in and you say there is no hell.
There might be one. The default outcome could maybe be like that, maybe. So the most
What like some like the long jaunt type thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's a book by Stephen King that you know of Junji Ito, the Long Dream?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, either way, it's a guy creates like a portal and he puts like rats through it, and the ones that are conscious come out and they're like fucking exhausted and then they die. And then he like one of them's knocked out and he puts it through and it's fine. And it's like then it cuts to like many, decades later. And basically it's like kind of a horror story because one of the kids goes through with like faking getting knocked out, and it literally, if you go through while you're conscious, you experience a period of time within like very small fragment of time that goes on longer than you can think. And that's what the kid says, so it's like a double entendre. Longer than you think to his dad, but actually like longer than you think. Before Stephen Hawking started tweeting, man, he actually could write decently, but dude, there is a correlation between like a certain amount of tweets and going absolutely brain dead. I don't know what it is, but
Either way, my opinion about the possible existence of hell or whatever, or something hellish, is that it depends what happens when you die, right? So like if panpsychism,
I can say if consciousness carries on,
if panpsychism is true, right? A lot depends on what it's like to be an elementary particle, right? Like when you lose your brain, if you revert to being like the most primitive form of consciousness there is, which is like some elementary particle or ripple or whatever the fuck, right? Then that could be painful, maybe, right? Maybe that's like a constant state of pain, right? Effectively, right? Maybe it's like,
well,
there's a magnet over here. You gotta move. You gotta be pulled in this direction now. There's a magnet over here. You gotta be pulled in this direction.
Anything that I could say would only earn the response. Well, you don't know that because we don't.
Of course we don't know that. I'm just saying that. A lot depends on just how the world works, basically, right?
How consciousness works.
Yeah.
Which again, that's what I was saying. Any opinion that I offer on that, you would just say, well, that doesn't matter because we don't have an understanding of consciousness. So
I'm not claiming to know. I'm just saying that if you think that consciousness exists at like every level and that like the stuff you experience now is like some sophisticated thing that only emerges from complex interactions, right? But if everything is still conscious even at the most elementary level, right? Then
I believe the former is more likely than the latter.
Then the experience of those maximally primitive consciousnesses, which is
so you're exploring the same concept in those stories, though, the idea of limitless suffering.
Yeah, like it's possible that basic experience is basically what we would call suffering, right? It's also possible that it's as close as you get to like not existing, like that it's basically fine, but it could also just be like maximally.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, dude. One is definitely preferable to the other. I'll say, hey, dude, if it's actually comparable or on whatever level like of how how do I even phrase this? Whatever level of like pain that you could perceive that to be, compared to just being it being like more like a non I'll take the non thing, you know. I'll take the, it's just, you know, like movement.
I'm just saying that it is. It's not like entirely. Just because you don't believe in religion or whatever doesn't mean that you.
Who said I don't believe in religion?
Okay, well.
Oh wait, I said that. Wait, no, I didn't. Did I?
Yeah, I'm just saying that like hellish afterlife default outcomes, and by default I mean unavoidable. You know, but what's almost certainly not true is some kind of selection process where if you live a virtuous life, you go to heaven, and if you live a bad life, you go to hell or whatever. Like whatever the.
I can agree with almost certainly.
Whatever the, because that requires like a highly complex process, basically, right? Like requires like some kind of like
evolution.
It requires some kind of program, some kind of computer program that's running and like filtering things, you know, categorizing things, right? Which doesn't seem very,
or
you know.
A being that is outside of any scientific explanation.
Yeah, but we
really
have no
like
evidence for such a thing, right? Like, or rather, the evidence we do have points to that being like the least likely possible type of outcome because it's such a highly complex state of affairs, right? It's just, you know, this is just a kind of Occam's razor here.
It was more of a joke. That's why I said science would hate that. I'm not trying to antagonize you either. Just that is interesting to hear about the hell component.
Yeah, because we don't know. Like, if panpsychism is real, right? Then all our fates is to go back to being super elementary, you know, things, right? Then maybe that experience is, you know, basically suffering all the fucking time. Like, what is it like when an electron gets a little bit too close to the nucleus and it's like repelled? Like, is that pain? Like, is not painful, but is that a form of suffering? You know what I mean? And then when it gets too far away and gets pulled back in again, right? Is that also like suffering? Is it like constantly being yanked around? Like, you know what I mean, right? However, this is one of those this is one of those things where like even if we learn for a fact that this was true, there wouldn't be anything we could do about it, right? Like there's literally nothing we can do about it, right? Like we can't save the electrons, right? Like, you know, those electrons that are just floating around in some rock or whatever. Like there's nothing we can do to help them.
What does it matter? I mean, I take on a more naturalistic philosophy, Singrana.
What does that mean? This sounds like just might makes right, which is, you know, I guess the default philosophy. Or phrased more kindly, whatever happens, happens, I guess.
I do not retaliate nor reject the sweet embrace of death. Why would you not want to prolong it? Shut up, bitch! The pursuit of meaning is absurd in and of itself. Hey, wabba wabba lubba dub dub. That's an oldie but a goodie. Until they made it mean something, and then I was like, well, I'm out. Bye. The first season was okay. You guys killed it. Good job.
I think Rick and Morty. I haven't seen the more recent ones actually. I'm behind, but the shit show is in my future, like where they cancel the Rick actor or whatever. Like the shit show is in my future, so I don't know how bad it gets in that sense. But from what I've seen so far, the trend is average quality goes slightly down as the seasons go on, but it's very slight. Volatility goes strongly up. So I like the best episode for me is like I think it's in season 2. It's the one with the car battery or whatever. That one is like absolute peak. And but yeah, I do think season 1 was better than season 2. But yeah. The part I've seen is like average is slowly tending down, volatility tending up. So I'm predicting like future seasons worse than past seasons, but also the best Rick and Morty episode is yet to come. It'll just be a diamond in the rough in season 10 or some shit. Although, who knows? Maybe it changes totally once the canceling happens. I'm not up to date. Like, was he brought back or something? Because he was vindicated on Twitter at some point, right? Was he ever like? Is he back on Rick and Morty now?
I would, if I had to bet, I would say probably not. Considering it's on Turner Broadcasting, and that would require them saying, "Uh-oh, we made an oopsie." And if we made an oopsie, there is a plausible case for this guy being able to say, "Hey, your offer to rehire me sure makes your offer to get rid of me
look suable, yeah.
look to me, you know, I'm gonna get my friend, his last name is Goldsteinberg, no relation. He's gonna sue you guys." Dude, I saw the joke that was a banger. No one laughed. But to me, it was a banger because there's a BDO player called Goldsteinberg, and I was playing with a ruler, and he was like, I don't know, I was just like doing PvP with him and stuff, and I was like, dude, who has the most Jewish name in BDO? And he was like, I don't know, man. What? And I was like, nah, dude, it's Goldsteinberg. And then he actually was like, okay, you got me. My surname has all sorts of rare metals and Masonic jewels. Yeah, I don't know though. I sent you a banger text though, as from like, you know, that perspective. I don't think that it was that they had to have 50% female writers. I think that it was no longer Dan Harmon and the other guy. I don't know why I can't think of his. I'm getting blocking on this. Gonna look it up. Well, you know the guy. Either way, it was no longer their vision after season 1. It was never supposed to be like this, like kind of story driven. There wasn't supposed to be like a story aspect. Like the first advertisement was like very simple for it, like the funny commercial, and it's like science is simple, family isn't. You know, like that's like the idea of like the show, but from a conceptual level, I don't know. I'm not saying there weren't good episodes past them, but I'm saying like
Yeah, the
overall.
story stuff, especially with Jerry.
Yeah.
That's where the problem, sort of the symptoms are most visible. Where like he turns into like the butt of every joke. Like there's like, so I mean in the beginning he is the character he is, right? He is the guy who doesn't get it, right? But then they start overusing that aspect, okay? And then they got backlash on that, and then they did like a redemption arc story next season, which is like, it's like
See, I don't.
no. It's like now the problem is that the problem is that you're trying to like lock this character in to be like a thing. It's like it's not supposed to be all one or the other. Okay, this, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like the WoW lore, where, you know what I mean? Where it's like no, it's you gotta just try to write it in like an interesting way. Don't be too afraid of.
Friendship is magic. We're dragons now.
Don't be too like.
Well, they fucked that up.
I still haven't seen it. You know, I still haven't played through it.
Well, I'm saying, well, I mean, you have seen it, the cutscene. I mean, that shit is
No,
old but
no,
gold, baby.
I'm not seeing the cutscene.
Oh well.
I haven't gotten to the end. I got to this raid and I needed people to play with, and I didn't find any. And then, and at some point, I didn't look either, right? But then I
didn't
tried.
find anything with
I tried queuing, and it didn't like pop anytime soon. So I just didn't try again. And then I did join this guild, but I never really like did anything with them. Because they were like extreme RPers or whatever, and it was just too much for me. But
Singrana may be autistic, but he is not a furry.
and then
I didn't hear any confirmation. I guess you are. That's.
I think I got kind of bored or whatever. I don't know, but or what happened was it was in this thing where I decided to take a pause. It wasn't that I was like, okay, no, this isn't good. It was just sort of like, okay, I'll do this some other time. So I just let the sub expire, and I can re-up it with gold anytime. As well, I guess inflation is gonna ruin. If I wait too long, I won't have the gold to re-up it. I guess because of gold inflation, but yeah, but I did. I had to pay for 2 months, and since I had to pay for 2 months, you know what I should have done? I should have just bought 1 month and bought another month and sold the WoW token, and you know, then I wouldn't have needed to mine any fucking thorium. Because I had to buy 2 months anyway, because I didn't quite make it.
I mined a lot of thorium, but Singrana mined a lot of thorium, dude.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe the amount when I played fucking both the original Classic and then the Classic 2.0, how much thorium I mined, dude.
What happened was I mined thorium, and I got about a third of the way just on mining alone, and I realized like I can make it if I mine a lot more, but I just don't want to mine more. And then I was like, okay, well, my choice now is either don't resub and then stop playing the game, or resub and then we're gonna go infinite. And you know, it sucks because that means I could have just subbed twice on day one and gotten the WoW token and instantly had the money to trade on the auction house, and I wouldn't have to do any fucking mining. But all that mining was actually turned out to be worthless. I ended up spending the same IRL money anyway.
You know what's interesting, though?
What?
This event ore, okay? Look at this event ore. This is what you get from it. Yeah, it's.
Oh, you mean the system control thing in Eve?
No, Tyrannite.
I'm not up to date on what the fuck this is.
It's for the event, limited time. You see?
I have no idea what the current thing is.
Okay,
I never look at events. I've never bothered with it.
Okay. My point is, but this is my point. Okay, it's used to make this, but it has to be from a special BPC because it's one siege module tier 1, and this is easy to get. So where do you get this fucking BPC? Do you know how good this thing is, dude?
Where are you linking this thing?
I'm streaming.
Are you streaming?
Electrium. Limited time. Now now you joined. Okay. Has the blue thing. Blue thing means limited time. It's really easy to get this shit. And it makes, I don't know. Okay, these filaments, I don't know what they do. I have some. This shit, I made some for the event to get points. I don't know what they do either. But you can make this. And the BPC for this is one siege module, Tech 1, and electric. Like, dude, I have way more than that. But it's got to be a special BPC because the normal, this thing is worth a lot too. This is like, look at the damage.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. It dropped from a boss called Strategos.
Well, originally it does for this BPC. This one's a different one. See what I'm saying? The other one is an event one. See? It's like so maybe it's from like, I don't know. Maybe it's from like, maybe it's a rare drop from like one of the sites that you have to do as a group. I don't know. But that module is expensive as fuck, dude. You can put it on dreadnoughts and they pump hot load. Another Chinese name shit.
Hey, you could try to recruit investors from China, from the Chinese community. Those guys you told me about, the Momo.
Yeah, but they already love me, dude. I don't know if I want to I don't want to, like,
You think it'll be badly received to pitch them, basically?
Well, I mean, the idea of making like an offer and it seeming, even if it is beneficial, if it comes across as dubious, it's I don't know how much Momo told him, but apparently a lot, because they were like, the guy was like, dude, I'll buy all your sites. Don't even worry about it. Full price. Momo told me about you. And I was like, what? And then another guy was like, dude, Momo told me about you. You know Momo Eco? And I was like, yeah, he's a cool guy. I said in Chinese, what? I said, yeah, he's a cool guy. And then they were like, haha, like they say in Chinese, like, he says you're a cool guy too. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? That was an interesting day.
Yeah, it's just a suggestion. If you have repeat interactions with them, like if you go back and forth and sell them stuff 10, 20 times, then you could eventually mention it, basically. Like after you have enough repeat interactions that they trust you more, then you can go for it, because then the
Maybe. I don't know why that's what
you
you're
know,
with though. I'm just saying. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that situation, man. Like I didn't jerk off to CCP or anything, but I don't know. Finna have big dinner in Little Taiwan, dude. You mentioned StarCraft.
yeah, I gotta probably walk my dog first, though.
Yeah, Fenris, dude, immaculate mustache on that dog, man.
Yeah. The cats moved in. There's now 2 cats, like, right outside the...
I had a cat like that, dude. He died. His name was Alexander, and dude, for some reason, man, I don't know if he was like muscular. Like when he would like lay down, his like lats would stick out, and you could see it's like a puma, dude. So I named him Alexander after Alexander of Macedonia. He would sit in a potted plant, and I'd be like, dude, he's the master of all that he surveys.
Yeah, there's 2 cats, like, outside my property. Like, there's, like, one in each bush. Like, live close by or something. We had a cat. We had a cat that died.
Singrana, you live on a very wacky Norwegian island. I will tell you that. That's absurd. That's crazy. I've had a lot of cats come around.
Yeah, Norway is not a fucking island, dude.
Yeah, but the part of Norway you live on is an island.
Oh.
Bing, bing.
Oh, yeah, technically. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Technically, it is.
Yeah, true. It's not anymore, because it has, like, a bridge, but, yeah.
Well, Manhattan is an island, and it has a bridge thing.
Yeah, it's that kind of island.
Not really an island, but technically an island. You're not that far away from Oslo. An American that knows geography. Oslo's northeast of you. Dude, the people in North Norway are fucked. Holy shit, man. I was remembering, I was like, man, what are I thought like northern Finland, and I was like, oh, I forgot, dude. North Norway goes above that. Holy shit. That's like fucking Arctic shit, man.
Yeah, it's bloody cold.
Isn't there an island north of that that's like technically Norway's?
Yeah, Svalbard is somewhere out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
joke. You
gotta be
joked
the-
about America invading, and honestly, that's the thing they're gonna invade. Let's be real. They want that. They want that ocean bed mining, of course. Who wouldn't? They want to mine the ocean seafloor, you know, for oil and minerals and shit.
Look, I want us to go after Russia and China. I like the Scandinavians. It's so funny to watch. Like, this is totally unrelated, but it's almost like a self-own, right? Whenever like one of those, I don't know. I think Matt Walsh is a giant expletive. Same for what's that other guy? He's got a thin face. Something Knowles. That guy's kind of like a joke. But whenever they say, well, the only countries that you can say those are like Scandinavian and they're mainly white people, and then I'm just like, I would want to come and be like, they also follow pretty liberal policies, pretty like it's like a self-own almost. It's like pretty liberal. You know what I mean? It's like you made a point to beat their point, but also your meta point about some of your conservative values that are honestly, kind of. So you got it's tit for tat. You kind of you go back.
Yeah, well, that's like the Kanye thing, you know. He's just a fan of Hitler, right? And Hitler was a fan of the Scandinavians for some reason. He just really liked those Aryans.
I'm more of a fan of Scandinavians because their culture is ahead of ours.
I think I think Norway is is stagnant as fuck. I think we have it pretty good, but I don't predict progress in this area of the world anytime soon.
Yeah, but I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like, as far as
I think we were superior to you guys in the past, and then now arguably other places have caught up.
See, a lot of people will get like upset when I say like superior or inferior culture. Like when I look at like autocratic theocracies, like the UAE, I'm like, people from there, that culture is inferior, and people will like take that as like a race thing, and I'm like, no, it's an inferior culture because for intrinsic things, people can legally be killed. That's an inferior culture. It's like
well, that's just your preference, man, and also the way that dynamically satisfies
Jordan.
other preferences, right? So the reason it's bad is because it creates this like chilling effect that makes investments not happen, right? And then it's also really bad if you just really
it ostracizes you from the rest of the world.
It's also really bad if you just really don't value that thing happening, basically, right? So. But yeah, it is. I know what you mean. That like it is bad because it just delivers bad results. Basically, like it's a technology, right? Like it's culture is a kind of technology.
That's why I use the words specifically inferior and superior.
Yeah, but keep in mind that like any kind of superior inferior, you have to load in a preference. You have to have a rational preference. Like I prefer vanilla. Vanilla is better than chocolate. Like you need to have like a rank.
I guarantee you, the crazy people would still say that's racist to say, and I'd be like, no, it's not.
Well, it depends on the person. I'm just saying there's no right and wrong about whether vanilla or chocolate is better. But for me, vanilla is better, right? Like I think vanilla is. Let me put it this way. Vanilla is more beautiful. Chocolate is more ugly, right? Arguably,
Kanye would love that. Kanye would love that.
Dude, I'm literally just using an example of the fact that I don't like chocolate taste.
I genuinely thought I was going to get you.
I wasn't. I just realized I'm making something that sounds like it's something else. I'm making a different. Fuck.
That's why I made a joke, and you're supposed to laugh, and I was going to be like, yeah, got him.
Either way, the point is just that like, given a preference, right, a preference function, right, then you ask the question, which system can deliver that? And I'm going to use a word that, again, sounds like I'm talking about something else, sustainably. Okay? I don't mean specifically global warming, because there's a lot of ways to be unsustainable, right? There's a lot of ways to be unsustainable. They have nothing to do with the environment. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go there. I took it for the general.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, China is shit, right? Because in China, why would you, if you come up with an idea, build a business yourself if somebody with better connections then yoinks it from you, right? Like that means that guy shouldn't do that in his own self-interest. So it's only people who are smart enough to have the idea but too dumb to realize if they build it that it'll be stolen from them. Like only those will do that in China. So that's why those things occur less frequently in China, right? Than in places that have a different.
Man. It's kind of coming to a head there, though, dude. It's starting to work its way down. You know, it's like and I'm saying that outside of like just like what you see on the China show. I'm saying like I like. You notice like Momo hasn't been around. A lot of people haven't been around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried for Momo because I mean, I did tell him
it's
like
coming to a head, dude.
I did tell him like you should go somewhere else. Like you're a doctor, like go to America, and if not that, go to Switzerland. If not that, then I was like, well, I mean, he speaks the language and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, what about Taiwan? Go to Taiwan, and he said something like, yeah, but it's gonna be part of China eventually. I still tried to convince him like, well, fine, but. Because I didn't want to debate it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a part of China, but like, but even if he believes that, well, go there now while it's better. Like,
I don't think he wanted to be honest with you though. I think he's like he's smarter than like a little pink, but he is loyal to the CCP. But he's smart about how he like. Displays himself.
Sure.
Know?
I was just trying to argue just economically, like just go where you're gonna be less poor, basically, right? Because I did tell him like because I think there's gonna be economic problems in China. Like that's my prediction, right? Based on the trends I've seen, right? Based on what I know about trade imbalances and the combination of the fact that the current setup is unsustainable, right? With the fact that I don't think the Chinese government is flexible enough to change direction, even when confronted with evidence of failure of that direction. I think Xi Jinping is not going to like admit he was wrong, right? Right, right. So
you understand the culture? No.
Yeah.
That's giving up face.
Yes.
You don't give up face.
Exactly right. So the combination of like. Unsustainable course coming to a head with intransigence. It's just, you know what that's a recipe for? It's like, okay, you're driving a car, there's a wall in the distance, it's coming closer, you are not willing to slow down or change direction. You know what I mean? It's like...
Well, Singrana, hear me out, okay? It's known that the Titanic, if it would have hit the iceberg head on, it would have been fine. So that's all they got to do. They got to do it head on. I'm making a terrible joke, but that is actually true about.
I mean, that's what they believe. That's why they think that's the copium that they use internally. That like, the West is weak. We're just gonna push forward, and it's gonna be fine. Like, that's like their
bad copium. That's some bad stuff.
Yeah, like that's the kick the can down the road to next year.
You should see some of the posts on social media, dude. It's like it is interesting to be on Weibo and.
I mean, I don't know. I just get my stuff through the China show. There's the Lay's real.
I'm just saying it's worse than even that, dude. It's like
I have 4 sources: China Uncensored, Digging to China. I like that guy. Lay's Real Talk, although she's kind of gone to shit recently. She's makes sensationalist videos now. I might unsub there soon. And then China Show. Of course, I also Laowei and Serpent say I'm on their channels too, right? But
yeah, they're cool guys. Yeah. Yeah. Winston's a little bit autistic, but
yes, it's really fun. It's really funny when there's like the miscommunication.
Yeah. Walk him along. He's like, yeah, they get it, man.
Yeah, because what happens is they have a different kind of they take different things for granted. You know what I mean? Sometimes Winston really wants to hammer a point home, and then Lawa is like, yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I know.
I get it, man.
You know, but sometimes it's almost the other way around, where it's like it's Winston
No,
who
it's
is.
not. It's them not being on the same page.
Yeah. They're not on the same. We're on a schedule here, okay? You know that joke they had one time. They're not on the same schedule, okay? Like they're supposed to like walk in lockstep, you know, but sometimes like one of them just takes like bigger steps or something, like.
Yeah, that's kind of what makes it like great. I'm just like,
Yeah. Especially when it's on purpose, because Winston sometimes like he like drags it out on purpose just to troll. Yeah. Those are my China sources. I don't know. I've never been on any Chinese social media. I've never done like the Google Translate from Chinese or whatever. Like if I get some text in Chinese, I'm not gonna put it through Google Translate and like trust what I see on the screen or anything.
I would say, considering I know, like, you know, I would say still beginner, maybe to intermediate. Depends on what you consider. I would say Google Translate for Chinese, and it's interesting because other languages it does not do remote. It does it's.
Oh
terrible.
yeah, it does. You're right. It would
It
do
does
better,
Chinese
right?
exceptionally well.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
why? You know why? Because they have a symbol for fucking everything. The more characters in the language, the better it'll do, right? Because the character is like that's like a deliberately chosen to put it
But it
in
could be both.
to put it in LLM terms, right? You know how like the LLM creates like these tokens.
I understand how the translator works, and it breaks down. I understand.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like by having more characters, it effectively what it does is it makes it so that a bunch of humans have chosen the tokens in advance, right? Because the humans have like, this is the character for this is the character for this, right? So by having more characters, there's less of a possibility that the translator algorithm, when it learns the language, when it does the machine learning, chooses the wrong dictionary for its compression. Because the humans have already specified, like, no, this is the symbol for guy sitting on his haunches taking a shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whereas in English, that's like
wait. And this could be a dumb question. So you don't think it has anything to do with Google having some interest in China?
I don't think so, because it's not like it's like exponential, right? Like it's not as easy as just putting in twice the computation or whatever, right? Because like you need to put in many times the computation to get like a similar step improvement.
Yeah.
It's like very strong diminishing returns to additional computation, right?
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious. Like that's something that I don't know that I wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah. I would say like based on the Chinese I know, whenever I've done that, I'm like, wow, that's actually that's like actually just like correct. Like that's sometimes it will get like it'll still be understandable. Like it's it'll just phrase it like wrong, or it will add some of the ancillary characters in the wrong spot, or when it's not needed. Like la, that's a very simple character that has no meaning. La has no meaning, but usually it's used at the end of questions. But yeah, I haven't seen it that accurate with any other language.
Yeah, so I predict that the more like dedicated, I mean, obviously you could do this for any language, right? Like if you wanted this to be just as good for English to Spanish, you know what you would do? You wouldn't feed it characters and tell it to spell with characters. You'd just feed it like the words, basically, right? Does that make sense, right? Because like I think the reason it works is because you just have more basic units that like, okay, you just got to figure out how these are the chunks that you need to find associations between. Like machine learn.
Chinese, that's very in for traditional or for simplified Chinese specifically, that's very simple because it's not like traditional Chinese that's spoken in Taiwan, where symbols have many more meanings. In simplified Mandarin, they usually have very few meanings, and there's many of them.
Exactly, and that's the easiest thing. That makes the chance that the computer makes a mistake early in the learning process and goes down the wrong path, basically, and makes a wrong foundational assumption model, right? That makes that probability lower. It means that like the average
That's
time
like,
until the average time until
Interesting
a
because that
mistake
puts two
happens
and
is
two together
longer.
for me. I didn't know why, but I did notice. I was like, man, that is impressive. Like I've never been impressed. Like when I sent Demez that message and it was terrible, I didn't use Google Translate because I was like, it'll probably fuck up Finnish. And then I tried to do it myself, and then he was like, yeah, you're extravagantly dressed in a car. And I was like, well, I tried.
Yeah, Demis sometimes opens like this state news website called NRK for Norway, and then he uses Google Translate, and you get these hilarious English sentences. Yeah.
I will say Chinese is actually it's I don't know. That's why I assumed it was some agenda. I was like, man, this is not the experience I've had with any other language being translated.
I just said like I don't trust Google Translate, but then once you told me, hey, it's good, I was like immediately like, oh, well, if that's literally true, I think I know why, because they have like more things. Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. See, that's putting two. See, you. Yeah. Now that makes a lot of sense to me, because I was like, man, this is I was getting suspicious. I was like, this is like actually useful.
I gotta go walk Fenris.
All right.
Today was a shit day. There was no significant camping here done. Nobody doing any sites. I got one MTU.
That is one downside to them knowing you, though.
Yeah.
And they know your preferences. This guy, his patience is.
But it's very important when you get into the situation. It's very important that they don't learn that you care. You know what I mean? So like, you know, that's actually why I stayed. You know that last MTU that I stayed for 90 fucking minutes, like manually piloting and just teasing that guy again and again and again and again. The reason I did it was because I was like, if I show weakness now, it'll be harder next time. So I need to like, it's easier to defeat them next time if I defeat them the first time, right? Like, if they believe that I will persist forever, I won't need to persist as much in the future, right?
Yeah. No, remember, I said, do not. If you do go into an area, you can't give them one good day of just pure ratting and profit, because that raises their morale. They're like, well, at least they can even cope and be like, well, at least yesterday I made this much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the more you persist and they don't see an out.
I mean, ratting is one thing, but like, imagine if they trash talk and I trash talk back and they feel like they owned me rather than me owning them verbally. That would be a fucking disaster. That's why I don't trash talk.
I'm aware of that. That's why I was like, that wouldn't help. But it's so hard to resist.
Yeah, I just try to stick to the story of the MTU. I'm just really concerned about those MTUs. You know, it was them who gave me the idea, because when I killed an MTU, somebody was like, oh no, not the MTU. I loved it so much for 1 hour. Like, that was like the message, and that made me go with the whole, the little, the bit, you know? The whole story about hey, you know, there's all this like unexploded ordnance, you know, there's people firing off these heavy assault missiles all the time. You
guys got Kessler syndrome going on out randomly in space? That's
yeah. Have you ever thought about how like people fire these off, and like every time the ship warps off, those missiles are just gonna drift around the system, you know, on some random orbit, right? So
yeah,
like think about that, you know. Eve's been out for 20 years, dude. There's a lot of those missiles flying around, right? Like it could run. Your ship could have a run-in with a heavy assault missile at any time, you know.
And I can't bring those back, but I can tell you what.
But if I'm on grid and I see it happen, I'll pay you insurance. Okay, I can offer you that much. So, you know.
I'm looking out for you.
Yeah.
I care. What can I say? I'm a people person.
Yeah.
You got to work on that. I'm a people person.
So that's the story we're going with, okay? We're going with the whole like we're on grid just to like verify that there was a heavy assault missile hitting the ship and exploding, right? And then we pay insurance, okay? That's our story. It's the insurance.
Thank God you had insurance, man. I saw that
Yeah.
shit, dude. That was unfortunate. You should tell your friends about it, honestly. I mean, imagine if their stuff like just.
Yeah,
That
there's
would be
there's this other guy in a system, and when we were there, he blew up, you know, and he didn't have insurance. He lost everything.
Lost everything. Up the pitch. That's upping the pitch. You can save your MTU, your ship, and your clone. Everything.